There are prophecies that run through the centuries like invisible currents, shaping events without humanity realizing it. Prophecies that sleep in the ancient pages of the Bible, forgotten by most of the world. Until today, and among them all, there is one that many theologians claim is now emerging before our very eyes. Silent, subtle, and at the same time, unsettling. A prophecy that speaks not only of wars, kingdoms, or catastrophes, but of a profound spiritual movement that would grow almost imperceptibly, transforming societies, beliefs, and behaviors. This prophecy is recorded in seemingly simple words. In the last days, many will turn away from the truth, following deceiving spirits. For centuries, these words have been read, discussed, and even feared, but it has never seemed as clear as it does now. Humanity has never consumed so much information, so many discourses, so many ideas at the same time, and yet it has never seemed so lost, so disconnected, so thirsty for something that truly makes sense. But what's most impressive is that this prophecy doesn't just talk about misinformation. It speaks of a profound spiritual transformation, which would happen silently, like a shadow growing behind us. A transformation that would change how people see good, evil, faith, truth, and even themselves. Today, we're going to unravel this prophecy. Today, you'll understand why so many scholars claim that we are living exactly what was predicted. Today, you'll realize that nothing, absolutely nothing, that is happening now is by chance. Prepare yourself. What you're about to hear will not be easily forgotten. Every prophecy begins with a sign, sometimes grand, sometimes discreet, and in this case, it is almost invisible. The sacred text describes an internal change, a silent shift that would happen within the human heart. Men will become lovers of themselves. The passage says, not lovers of life, nor of truth, nor of their neighbor, but of themselves. A generation so fascinated by its own image, by its own opinions, by the urgent need to be seen, admired, validated, that without realizing it, it would distance itself from that which keeps the soul awake. We live in the age of digital reflections, in the age where an image carries more weight than a story. We live in the age where opinion is worth more than wisdom. We live in the age where attention is fought over like gold, and spiritual silence slowly transforms into constant noise. The prophecy describes exactly that, a humanity seduced not by explicit evil, but by distractions that become so profound that the truth is ignored, and you feel it, don't you? The difference in people's behavior, in the way they react, how they communicate, how they live. Everything is faster. Everything is more superficial. Everything is more anxious. And this is where the first sign is revealed. It's not the world that's darker, it's people who are losing the ability to see. In the past, we sought answers in books, in conversations, in moments of reflection. Today, we are bombarded by voices, thousands of them, competing for our attention. Opinions, beliefs, speeches, influences, promises, and ready-made truths. And the prophecy said exactly that. Many will listen to deceiving spirits, not literally visible beings, but ideas that seem right, but are empty, paths that seem illuminated, but lead to emptiness. And here, I need to ask you something important. If this video has made sense to you so far, please click like. This helps us send this message to more people. Continuing, the modern world has transformed opinion into authority. And this mixture, opinion as truth appearance as essence, creates the perfect scenario for the fulfillment of the prophecy. Everyone wants to be a guide. Everyone wants to be a master. Everyone wants to be right. But few want to listen. Few want to learn. Few want to grow. And when many guide without knowing where they are going, spiritual chaos becomes inevitable. The prophecy said that this would happen before something much bigger, a great awakening or a great collapse. The most unsettling part of this prophecy is that it describes a time when values would be reversed. Good would be seen as weak or outdated. Evil would be seen as freedom, authenticity, evolution. And you've already noticed this. The culture has changed. The discourse has changed. What once shocked us is now normal. What was once noble is now ridiculed. The prophecy said, in the last days, people will reject sound doctrine and choose to teach what sort of teachers it might be to say what their itching ears want to hear. In other words, people would no longer seek the truth. They would seek emotional comfort. They would not seek what is right. They would seek what is convenient. And this is where I make the second important call. If you feel this content matters, subscribe. Your subscription is what keeps this work going. The curious thing is that the prophecy doesn't just talk about moral decay. It talks about spiritual confusion. A confusion so profound that people would believe they are awake, when in fact they are asleep. A generation that believes it has seen everything, but doesn't see the essential. Every profound spiritual change is preceded by silence. Not external silence, but inner silence. That moment when a human being feels a strange emptiness, even with everything around them functioning. Millions today feel exactly that. Unexplained tiredness, unexplained anxiety, a feeling that something is missing. And the prophecy said that this feeling would be the trigger for the awakening of many, when distractions cease to fill, when illusions cease to satisfy, when noise ceases to deceive. People will begin to look inward. This silence is the prelude. It's the exact point where the spiritual world moves rapidly, preparing the next chapter of the prophecy. Not an end, but a revelation, and you are feeling it because you are living exactly what was predicted. The prophecy said that at the height of spiritual confusion, something extraordinary would happen. A return. Not a physical return, but a return of consciousness, faith, and truth. A collective awakening, slow at first, but impossible to contain. Millions would realize that living for themselves is not enough. That life is not just about chasing goals, validation, and appearances, that there is something greater, something that has always been there, waiting. This return has already begun. People who never sought spirituality are seeking it now. People who are lost are finding a new path. People who ignored faith are feeling something different, something they can't explain, but they can't ignore it. This silent movement is the heart of prophecy. It is the moment when darkness loses its power and the light begins to touch sleeping consciences. And now we come to the most important point. The prophecy said that when all these signs were happening at the same time, spiritual confusion, inversion of values, profound distractions, emotional emptiness, and a growing awakening, then the world would enter a new spiritual cycle, a cycle of revelation, a cycle of clarity, a cycle in which people would understand that the truth never disappeared. It was only forgotten. And perhaps the fact that you are here, listening to this, is no coincidence. Perhaps you are part of the new generation that is awakening. Perhaps you are among those who see beyond the noise, beyond the distractions, beyond the illusions. The forgotten prophecy is being fulfilled, not only in the world, but within each person who feels that something greater is happening. And now, you know. Now, you see. Now, you understand.